Okay, so let's take a look at the calculator and the scratchpad. So, the calculator. Now, knowing how to use the calculator is very important, and more importantly, knowing how to use the calculator but also using the number keypad on your keyboard, rather than using the mouse to manually click numbers into your calculator. Rather, you would use the number keypad on your keyboard. It will save a lot of time. Now, the on-screen calculator has very basic functions. So it has a percentage function, a memory function, square root function, and the positive negative function, which in all honesty, I didn't really use much of. Even throughout my practice during the UCAT revision, I didn't really use any of these functions as much. I might have used the memory recall button, but not as frequently. But sometimes when doing lengthy calculations, this memory recall button does kind of help speed things up and kind of prevent you from forgetting any long, massive numbers. Okay, so how do you use each of these functions? So knowing how the calculator works is not a bad thing. In fact, it's a good thing, just in case you might want to use it in the exam. Okay, so let's take a look at this on-screen calculator that you'll be using throughout your UCAT exam. So let's take a look at some of the basic and simple functions. So it's beginning with the memory recall function. Let's say, for example, you are multiplying two numbers together and you get a relatively large number. So if we do 369 multiplied by 258, you get this number right here. Now, obviously, memorizing this number is an issue because of the time and pressure. You just don't want to be risking that, because sometimes recalling a number, you might get it messed up, and that will mess up your whole calculation and it will take more time and you probably won't get the mark. So don't do that. Second of all, writing it down will take a bit of time. Thirdly, you would have to recheck what you have written down to see whether it's actually matching what is on the calculator. So this is why the memory recall function is helpful. So let's say we want to add this number to the memory in the calculator. So all we have to do is press memory plus. You know it's in memory now because the little M has shown up in the left hand corner. That shows that this number is now in memory. So now we press the clear button, and now we can do whatever calculation we like and the number in the memory will not be affected. Now, let's say we want to recall this number. So we've come to a point in our calculation and we want to know what the number was. So we just press MRC, so that button right there, and then it recalls what the number that was saved. Now, let's say once again we want to add a number to the number saved in memory. So let's say we want to add 3 to this number. So currently right now it is 95,202. If we add 3 to it, it should give us 95,205. So to add 3 to this number, we press 3 and then memory plus, and then clear, and then memory recall, and now it gives us 95,205. Now let's say we want to subtract a number from the number in memory. So let's say we want to subtract 5. Now we press 5, then memory minus, then clear, then memory recall, and it has subtracted 5. Okay, so let's say you want to absolutely clear the memory and add a different number into memory. So all you have to do is press clear, memory minus, memory recall, and that's it. Now the memory's been wiped and the number is gone. Now let's take a look at this square root button. Now I haven't really used this, in all honesty I haven't used this at all, but it's still good knowing how to use it just in case you might need to use it in the exam. So all you have to do is press the number that you want to find the square root of. So let's say 64, then press the square root button and it will give you your answer. So in this case it is 8. Okay, so let's take a look at this positive negative function. So let's say we've got 6 right here, it's positive 6. Let's say we want to switch the sign, so it is negative 6. All we have to do is press this positive negative function and that will change. press it again, and it will go back to positive. So I don't know when you will ever use this, but if you ever do, then do tell me, because I would like to know where you would actually use this. Now, lastly, the percentage sign. Now, so let's say you wanted to calculate 45% of 30. So all you would have to do is type in 30 multiplied by 45 and then hit the percentage sign, percent. Now you've got 0.45%, which is the decimal form of 45%, and then hit equals and you get your answer. So here is a scratchpad. It does at first sight seem kind of useless, but whether it is actually useless is down to you and you experimenting. I would suggest experimenting and seeing how would you possibly use this scratchpad. And here's the main thing. This is the most important point in regards to the scratchpad. If this helps you speed up any calculations, any of your techniques, any of your methods, helps you speed up in a certain question, in whatever way, if it helps you speed up, then use it. If it really, like, drags you back, you spend too long on the scratchpad or just waste a lot of time, then don't use it. Remember, this ucat, you're not only fighting against the the different styles of questions, but more importantly, you're fighting against time. If this exam wasn't timed, then a lot of you would do exceptionally well. But because it's timed, it makes it a whole lot harder. So you don't want to risk any second at all.